Hello everybody, my name is Red. I am a pole dancer, a pole dance instructor, performer, icon. I'm an artist. I've been requested to do a Q&A video. You all asked some really good questions, so I'm actually really excited to answer these today. Let's start with this very first question. I love this question. How did you come up with red lights? And two, when did you discover that pole was your outlet / calling? So obviously these two questions are kind of tied together. I started pole dancing in a club when I was 18 years old. I immediately fell in love with dancing on the pole, learned a bunch of tricks and everything that I knew from my friends and from watching people online. So I was primarily self-taught, even though I had a lot of really amazing, talented friends who taught me a lot of what I know. Plus, everything I know has been inspired by previous dancers before me. Now, how did I come up with red lights? I love this question. Now, if you've been following me for a really long time, you'll know that I actually started out my pole dance profile on Instagram with an account named Jewelry Box Paradox with no E's. So it's Jewelry Box Paradox, and I remember I created an Instagram profile in the midst of COVID because I really missed dancing in the club, and all the clubs in my city were closed. So I bought a pole for my home, and I started taking videos at home. And someone who I worked really closely with and really admired as a dancer, you might know who she is, her name is Nirvana. She was blowing up on Instagram, teaching classes, teaching private lessons. She had a Patreon page, and it just really inspired me to pursue pole dancing because I really missed doing it in the club and I didn't have that outlet during COVID. So I got the pole, started taking videos, and I started that profile privately. I didn't tell anybody about it. I might have had a couple friends from a personal Instagram I used to have that moved over, and then it kind of just became my main page because I really enjoyed curating a new audience there, and an audience that was interested in my new hobbies and my new life as an adult, because I had transitioned and still had people from my childhood on my personal page that I just didn't really need seeing what I was doing anymore. I had moved away from my hometown. I grew up in the Bay Area, California, and I had moved to Portland, so it was just not really necessary for me to keep in touch with those people. It had been 2 or 3 years since I had graduated high school, so I was just new profile, new life. I was primarily pole dancing, and the real OGs know I used to roller skate. I was fucking up them roller skates. I was actually roller skating in the skate park. I was roller skating, dancing in my house, and pretty much just keeping myself busy during COVID. I'm a really active person, and it just really got me through that time of isolation by being able to meet up with people outside and skate, or just pole dance at home and communicate with my pole community online. And that was when I really curated amazing relationships with people online. So basically, this all leads me to say I lost this account. I remember that first account, I think it was my favorite account I've ever had. It was just, every video I posted on there was vibes. I just loved making content. It wasn't about, anything besides me just making cringe videos, and all my girlies were supporting me, and I had 5,000 followers, but I would always get 30-40 comments, all my girls, and I really loved that account. My people rode hard for Jewelry Box Paradox, even though I only had 6K followers, and it didn't matter. I loved that account. I didn't need any more followers. My DMs were full. And then I lost that account. I was devastated. I immediately started a new account, Jewelry Box Paradox, with the ease this time. It lasted a little while. Luckily, this time I had created like backup accounts and things like that, and I knew how to better navigate the space, what not to post on Instagram, like what was okay, because I used to just post really scandalous stuff that like honestly I didn't need to be posting that. Not that like Instagram censorship is cool at all, I don't think it's cool, but at the same time, like now I'm just a lot more careful about the guidelines, and it's like really not that hard, when back in the day I was like, oh my god, like I can keep getting taken down and I'm not even posting anything that bad, and it's like my pussy lip is literally out. But yeah, so funny thing is that account got taken down like real fast, like within probably like 2 months, taken down again. And I think it was because I had the same phone number. Yeah, they just knew I was the same person, or I had a hater or something reporting my stuff, and I got taken down again. So this time I bought a new phone and I created, what was the name of this account? Oh, it was Lil Red Riding Hood, okay? There's another layer to this story. Now, I'm gonna keep explaining this because I love the story. But I used to go by the name Ginger, right? And this is because I'll tell my first day ever auditioning at the club story, but basically my first ever name as a dancer was Ginger. And I rode that name so long, like everybody loved it. I was Ginger, like I just was Ginger. There would be other Gingers in the club, but I was Ginger. And I had taken a trip to Atlanta. My Atlanta trip, that's gonna be another story time. That was the catalyst for me for pursuing pole as a career. But I took a trip to Atlanta to do the Aerial Allure Showcase, and I got a license to dance there because my dream was to work at Magic City. I didn't get hired at Magic City. I went back to Atlanta, eventually got hired at Onyx, and when I got hired at Onyx, on that trip, basically, I had decided to change my name to Red. Like, I just thought Red was the more mature version of Ginger. I had gotten out of a really bad breakup like a year before that, tatted my body. Like, I just felt like I wanted a new name. I wanted a new mature character, persona. And so I changed my name to Red because I thought it was really cute. And it was just R-E-D. And then when I went and worked at Onyx Atlanta, I went for my first day, and oh my god, they were always giving me such a hard time at that club because I was like the only white girl. And on top of that, like one of the only natural girls as well. So they would just always give me a hard time. But I showed up for like my second day and I was like, it's Red, like, can I sign in? And I was like, it's Red, can I sign in? And he was like, okay, Red, like, I'll sign you in, Red. Like, how do you spell it? And I was like, R-E-D. And he was like, I'm gonna spell it with 2 D's because it just sounds more gangsta. And I was like, okay. So I was like, I like it. Red with 2 D's because it's more gangsta. So that's kind of how I came up with Red, started identifying with Red. I even started going by Red in public among friends because I just was going through a time where I really wanted to embody that character that I was creating. Like, I just felt like I finally knew who I wanted to be, how I wanted to show up in the world, and that was through Red and this vessel I had created that I was just in love with. So long story short, I created this third account with a new wave of wanting newness, and I remember my second account got deleted right before my very first Snoop Dogg performance. Like, I remember I was like, we were like about to perform for Snoop the next day and my account got deleted. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I don't even get to share this amazing experience I'm about to have, but it was amazing because I ended up just being present the entire time. I got the footage and I was able to release my brand new account with my Snoop Dogg footage. And I think if you still go down to the bottom of my page on my Instagram right now, those first few posts are still there. And I remember I was so defeated. I was just like, fuck Instagram. I'm gonna just do my thing. Clearly, I'm gonna still attract attention. And here's the thing about losing your profile. Every time you lose your profile, the people will find you. The people who matter will find you, all right? Because you get to a point with your Instagram where you have 20K followers, 50% of those people are not actually supporting you, right? But when you lose your account, you find out the people who are really supporting you. People will let people know, and you will find your people again. So every time I lost my account, I used it as an opportunity to bounce back. Something about me, I don't give up, all right? I don't give up. So that third Instagram, I was going by Lil Red Riding Hood. And I just thought it was cute. Lil Red Riding Hood was one of my favorite books growing up and one of my favorite childhood stories. So thought it was cute. And I rocked with that for a while. People thought it was cute. And then I came up with the idea of red light for my website, for my business, because of honestly inspired by the red light district in Amsterdam, but also because my name was Red, and because I want to show people the light on a side of the world or a perspective that they've never seen before. It's almost like having red colored glasses, seeing red. All right, so that was kind of like the concept I came up with, and I really rocked with it. I just loved how it sounded. Red light, I loved light because I do see myself as a light. I really resonate with the sun. And yeah, so basically red light was the result of all of those transitions and evolutions through kind of stepping into this person I always knew I wanted to be. And it's a work in progress, it's a journey. There's no destination because I'm always evolving, but I'm definitely happy to be here today, and I wouldn't change anything about the journey. So I love red light. Red light is my fucking baby. I think red light is here to stay. Red light will always be the umbrella brand for everything that I do in this space, in the sex work space. And yes, thank you for asking that question and allowing me the space to answer it. This next question is going to be kind of hard to answer, and it is, what is your greatest strength? My greatest strength would probably be my intrinsic motivation. And I sound like my mother right now, but I'm very intrinsically motivated. I don't really need other people to motivate me. I will find it in myself to get the things that I need to do done. And I'm also very ambitious. So I love that about me. I love that I never settle for less. I love that I'm always trying to evolve, always wanting to grow, because it really just makes me feel limitless as a person. Like anything I want in this life, I know that I can get it, and I know that I can figure out how to get it. So I honestly just feel really powerful through my ability to just be really disciplined, intrinsically motivated, and a lot of faith in myself. Someone asked, what is the ultimate song, music, or sound for you? I would say I'm very versatile. You could put any genre of music on and I'll fuck that shit up, because I just love music. I love, like, I can feel music, I can feel vibration. Now, I can tell within the first 10 seconds of a song whether it's a song I like or not. That's a different story. But when it comes to genre, I'm not that picky. I will say I lean very heavily towards hip hop, R&B, jazz, soul. Those are my primary listening genres, because that's just, I grew up in the Bay Area, California. It's what I grew up listening to, heavily influenced by the culture around me. And I also just really rock with hip hop music in general. I just think it's really fun to dance to, and it makes me feel powerful and badass. I love music that makes me feel badass. I love cinematic music. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at my music choices. It's not really so much about the artist or the genre or anything like that. It's about the sound or how it makes me feel. I've never had any music education. I've had some music classes, actually. That's a lie. I've taken piano, singing, like classes here and there in school, choir, whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel music. It's not a logical thing to me. Someone said, what is your fave go-to meal lately? My girlfriend cooks me 80% of the things that I eat, and I am a child besides that. So besides that, Uncrustables, or Crustables, I always call them Uncrustables, chocolate milk, like ramen. I love fruit, but I am pretty dependent on my girlfriend's cooking, and she cooks amazing food. She's Jamaican. She makes a lot of different Caribbean foods. She makes a lot of shrimp, seafood. She loves crab and all that good stuff. So usually I eat whatever she makes me. How do I prepare for a performance? For me, I prepare for a performance. It really depends on the type of performance I'm doing. Now, I feel like most of the time I am hired to do more of a freestyle performance type work. Yeah, I'm just usually hired to do more freestyle type work. I'm usually hired to work crowds, to be entertaining, and I think that in order to be entertaining for a live audience, you need to be able to improvise. In my workshop that I hosted when I was on tour in November, I taught about freestyle performance and how it's not just unplanned. You're not just going up there like, I'm just dancing how I'm feeling. Like, it is planned out. I know the combinations I want to do when I get up there, and I know the moves that I like to do in the beginning, the way I'm gonna start. But besides that, I like to be as present as possible when I'm performing. So I try not to plan choreography or anything like that. What I do plan is the tricks I'm gonna do. I plan my outfit. If possible, I plan the song, the vibe, the overall vibe. And honestly, I do a lot of mental preparation, more than I do actual physical preparation for a performance. I will lay and visualize my performance, visualize the vibe, visualize the outfit I want to wear, but most importantly, visualize the performance over and over and over, visualize different ideas. Visualizing is one of the tools that I use most often to prepare myself for performances. It just makes me feel extra ready when I visualize the performance, even if I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like. There's something about visualizing a performance that makes it feel more familiar once you get there. It's like you've already done it. And visualizing is a very powerful manifestation technique as well. And every time I have visualized a performance and put a lot of intention into this goal, the performance usually comes out exactly the way that I visualized it, if not better. So I would say those are the main ways that I prepare for performance: mindset, outfit, vibe, the tricks I'm gonna do. And besides that, I just make sure that I'm in a really good headspace when I'm about to go perform, because if you're in a good headspace and you have good energy, it's just going to flow out of you. All right, so performers, entertainers, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. And I'm gonna always say that and preach that till I fucking die, baby. All right? Now, somebody said, what does your back thigh tattoo say, and what is the meaning behind it, if there is any? I'll put a picture right here. And the backs of my legs, they say silent watcher. And they are hard to read kind of on purpose. They're a little bit abstract. My tattoo and artist and I talked about the design, and we both wanted to do something kind of bold. So we went with the design of the stretched out Gothic lettering. A lot of people ask me, like, is it supposed to be like death metal vibes? And honestly, I wanted the vibes to be scary. I wanted it to be bold. I wanted it to be almost kind of like this impending doom, but not like, but so here comes the meaning. It's not about impending doom. The Silent Watcher comes from a book that changed my life when I was probably 21, going through a really, really hard time in my life. I felt really lost. I felt like I had super bad anxiety about the future. I felt like I had really bad depression and regrets about my past. And I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm excited to share more eventually about myself, with hopes to help other people and inspire others to never give up, because I have been in the trenches, baby. But yes, it was a book that I read that changed my life when I really needed it. And the quote is, "Be the silent watcher of your thoughts and behavior. You are beneath the thinker. You are the stillness beneath the mental noise. You are the love and joy beneath the pain." If you want to learn more about the Silent Watcher, The Power of Now is a really, really good spiritual book that teaches you how to heal ourselves through becoming observers of our own experience versus being completely immersed and associating 100% with our emotions, feelings, physical vessel, obstacles, right? And instead, learning how to take an observer position in your own life. I'm very interested in spirituality and these types of things. I would say it has saved my life. Coming from parents and a family with mental health issues and trauma from my past, and trauma that has traveled down generations in my family line, that really caused me a lot of stress, anxiety, depression. And I have always been someone, like I said, who's intrinsically motivated. So when these things happened to me, I knew I wanted to educate myself and learn how to get myself out of the ruts that I was in and help my mental health in whatever way that I could. I was not just gonna give up on myself, because even through everything that I've been through, and even through, like, I used to have a lot of shame, guilt, like a lot of these feelings used to plague my life and plague my being and my self-worth and my self-love, and that did nothing for me. It did absolutely nothing for me besides put me in situations that I didn't want to be in. So knowing this, I always try to make decisions that are good for me. I will always prioritize me and my mental health and my well-being, because it's literally the secret to happiness, right? Because you can't have a full cup if you're always pouring into everyone else's cup and you're not filling yours, right? So fill your cup first, and then you can have so much of abundance that you have enough for everyone. But if you're always pouring out of your cup first and you're not filling yours, this is not a sustainable way to live. And you're going to feel sick. You're going to feel unhealthy. You're going to have pain, struggle, obstacles. It's going to be very hard to keep positive attitude, right? So really have to be careful about the things that we're feeding our brain. Our brain is a muscle. Our brain is helping us to survive. And so you really need to be making sure that you're feeding your body good stuff, your brain. And I'm not perfect, trust me, I'm not. But I am conscious, and I feel like consciousness and awareness is always the first step. Someone asked me, what are your fave stretches for getting your middle splits or back flexibility? I do flexibility classes, so I actually do flexibility virtual classes, and I also sell the recordings for these virtual classes on my website. So if you want to check those out, go for it. There's a lot of really good resources on the internet. There's a lot of good free resources on the internet. This is my perspective. There's no secret stretch or secret position that's going to magically unlock your splits or magically bring you all the way down in your middle splits. It's just not realistic to expect that or to believe somebody who's going to try and sell you that idea. All right, flexibility comes from consistency. Flexibility comes from proper stretching routines. All right, so when you're approaching your stretching routine, follow a tutorial from someone who knows what they're doing. Right, learn about stretching. Stretching doesn't take long and you can make progress. You just need to do it the right way. All right, 15 minutes a day and you can get a lot more flexible. All right, it's all about what you're prioritizing and whether you're willing to be consistent and put in the work. Everyone that you see that is doing amazing things has put in the work, and you might just not. All right, we lost some footage, but I'm back and we're gonna finish up this Q&A. Where were we? How did you start pole? What motivated you to continue, and what inspired your style? So like I said, I started in the club and just fell in love with it because I already had a certain level of flexibility and strength and an understanding of my body. I had done gymnastics when I was younger, so I just loved pole immediately. And after being at home during COVID for so long, it was so nice to be able to express myself sensually, because that's what I loved so much about being at the club, was how free it made me feel, and it was an outlet for me to express myself sexually, because I've always been a very hypersexual, expressive person. I loved nudity, like I'm very comfortable with nudity and with my sexual energy, so it was fun for me to share it with people. And I think that's what heavily inspires my style, is that it is an expression of energy for me. It's a big release and a way for me to communicate feelings that I've had or my life experiences. And it really is just so fun to move my body. Like, I'm a very physical person and also an artist, so I feel like dancing and pole dancing allows me to combine everything that I love, and I think that's what inspires my style and why I continue to do it, is because it just comes from a place of loving how it feels inside to move my body, loving to find movement that feels good and allows me to express myself. My style is heavily strip club influenced, but I'm inspired by every style: slink, exotic, hard style, Russian. Everything inspires me, and I like to explore everything and make it my own. What's your favorite way to include the crowd in your performance? Eye contact, baby. I love to eye fuck my audience, and not so much just eye fuck them, but eye contact is something that we don't get enough of in our time, and not every audience or performance is appropriate to touch up on people. So eye contact is, like, for me, just the most sexy and subtle and swagalicious way to communicate with your audience and really reach them, because when you make eye contact with someone, now they're really watching. So yeah, I would say my style is also very bold. It's very in your face, but not in your face to where I make people uncomfortable. I'm very empathetic, so I make sure that my energy is wanted, and when it is, I go all out. Full freedom of expression, of my sexual expression, and I always have an audience focus in mind to make sure that my audience is enjoying my show, because I care a lot about worshiping people through my dance and worshiping myself and inspiring others through my dance. Someone asked me, how long and which styles of dance have you studied? So yeah, like I said, my background was in gymnastics. I did gymnastics for about 8 years when I was growing up. I am very grateful to this day for my parents who supported my dreams. I was like begging them to let me do gymnastics, and you know, it's not the cheapest sport, and my parents had to work very, very hard to support me in my gymnastics career, and it honestly was the most amazing sport. It was so hard, but it set me up for success for life. Like, I now understand how to handle challenges. I am flexible, I am strong, I have an incredible understanding of body awareness, spatial awareness, and technique and proper form. And I'm just super grateful to have had that background. When it comes to dance, I do not have any formal education in dance. Dance is something that I transitioned into as an adult. And as someone who's always been very active, I feel like it came naturally to me to just fall in love with having a sport that I could do as an adult that felt appropriate and also aligned with who I was and am. And dancing is so fun because I love that all you need is your body. Like pole dancing, yes, you need a pole, but I love dancing because all you need is your body. Anybody can do it. And after coming from a sport that was so heavily criticized and there's black and white, this is right, this is wrong, I loved the freedom that dancing gave me. A lot of people are like, oh, Red, like, why don't you go compete in pole? And honestly, I'm just kind of scarred from competitive environments in general because of the just experiences I went through as a child in hyper competitive environments. And today I'm not really interested in competing. I'm more so interested in sharing my art with people and showcasing what I've been working on. I'm gonna answer this last question. I had more, but this video is getting pretty long now, so I am gonna wrap it up after this last question. So the last question is, top 3 tips for someone who wants to build a pole business. All right, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This industry is growing rapidly, and there are gonna be more and more opportunities to build careers in the pole industry, but right now they don't exist. You have to create them. If you have the time, the resources, the energy, the passion to pursue a career in pole, I encourage you to go for it. But if you are not 100% sure that this is what you want to do with your life, I would really consider if it's the direction that you want to invest your energy into, because it is not easy. It's a lot of work, and you have to be a very multidimensional, independent person to be a self-starter entrepreneur. And if it's not something that you really care about or are really passionate about, you're not going to make it through those nights of crying and being scared and anxiety. So my top 3 tips would be, make sure that you're a kick-ass dancer and that you're confident in your abilities, so that when somebody's like, who's the best pole dancer where you live, that should be you. So my second tip would be to set up a solid plan, do your research, because navigating through the pole industry and creating a career in it is like hiking through fresh snow. There's no clear path, there's no right answer. You really need to come up with your own plan, do a lot of research, have a really, really strong understanding of business and the direction that you want to take. Do you want to teach? Do you want to perform? And really ask yourself these questions so that you can create a really solid plan. My third tip would be, because the industry is growing so rapidly, obviously there's a little bit of saturation of people showing up with the same vibe, the same energy, and looking to be like other people instead of finding their authentic self and their unique style. So I think something that's really gonna make you successful in this industry is finding what's unique about you, what sets you apart, and yeah, what is that star quality that you have that other people don't have, and really play into that, because you can't just be doing what everyone else is doing. You need to really think, how would you do it? And just ask yourself these questions so that you can bring something new to the industry and keep people interested, right? A career is about sustainability and creating something long-term. So you don't want to just be a one-hit wonder. How can you create a sustainable business model that keeps people interested long-term, keeps you interested long-term, and yes, just always have a long-term mindset when you're approaching your career plans. So that's all I have for y'all today. I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A. Thank you if you made it this far. I'm excited to create more YouTube videos and more longer style content like this. So thank you for tuning in. Please let me know in the comments if you resonated with any part of my video today, and I can't wait to make another one. All right, peace and love.